og andre kastet seg ut i kampen mot atomgalskapen. At han forlot et beskyttet liv som feiret vitenskapsmannen og utsatte seg for hån og forfølgelser, skyldtes først og fremst hans hustru Eva Helen, som slåss sammen med ham den gang og gjør det fremdeles. Men hvordan overtalte hun sin mann til å ta kampen opp?
Yes, well, it was a matter of deciding that someone must do what he could because the world was in such a dangerous situation. And although my husband got a very great deal of pleasure and satisfaction from doing his scientific work, which he was very competent, nevertheless, I thought that he would be successful in these political fields as well, at least in the information field, yes, which was so needed at that time. And I, myself, had always been interested in political and social questions, but realized that he would do a better job than I if I could persuade him to do it. And then events of one sort or another happened which made him realize that the world wasn't quite the world of justice and order that he had thought working in his laboratory. And so he decided to give some time, I think at a great sacrifice to himself, to inform the people about the dangers of radioactivity, the dangers that were facing the world with the development of nuclear weapons, what the weapons testing would do to people and to future generations. And I think he had a measure of success.
Certainly, but I asked him a little while ago, and now I will ask you this question. Do you feel that we are in a state of numbness in a way now? Certainly there are good reasons to be afraid right now. Do you feel that people have been brainwashed in a sense into complacency, or have we just given up? We were talking about the feeling that many people just have given up. Do you have that feeling now?
Well, I think that there is a feeling of discouragement and a lack of faith, you might say, in governments and in people. But yet, at the same time, there is a great feeling of discontent, too. People are searching, sometimes in not very productive ways, to find reason and to find something that they can follow and have some respect for. And by no means do I think that it is hopeless. I think we all have to keep working.
No, but many young people think that it's hopeless.
That's true. We've heard young people say, why should we study? Why should we get good grades? Why shouldn't we do what we want to do if the world is going to be destroyed? And that is quite difficult to counteract. Nevertheless, I think we must work very hard to counteract it.
Well, you've been working for all these years now, and Dr. Pauling, you will soon be 80 years old, I think, just a month or so after this program goes on the air in Norway. But you are still crusading, you are still fighting for peace. So you feel that you haven't wasted your time by coming out of the ivory tower, that you should have been in it all the time.
No, I think that it was worthwhile. Sometimes I wish that I could have, that I didn't need to sacrifice part of my time, but could have devoted it to my scientific work. But on the other hand, I feel that it was worthwhile to have done, taken these other actions that I took. Especially, I have felt all along that I need to act in such a way as to continue to have the respect of my wife.
Igjen var det en stor anti-atomdemonstrasjon utenfor Det hvite hus i Washington, arrangert av en kvinnegruppe som fru Pauling var med i ledelsen av, Kvinnestreiken for fred. Blant demonstrantene var også dr. Linus Pauling. Han hadde nettopp sendt et sviende telegram til den nyvalgte president Kennedy og beskyldt ham for kriminelle handlinger ved å tillate atombombeprøver. Dagen etter demonstrasjonen var han middagsgjest hos Kennedy i Det hvite hus, sammen med en rekke andre amerikanske nobelprisvinnere. Presidenten sa, da den sivilt ulydige demonstranten møtte til middagen, «Jeg håper, dr. Pauling, at de vil fortsette å gi uttrykk for deres meninger». Do you think there is a climate for your type of activity, your type of crusading, your type of civil disobedience, if we shall stick to that word, today? Do you think there is a climate for it? Do you think that the authorities would tolerate it the same way?
Well, I think we should at least give them the benefit of the doubt. And that we shouldn't say no, they wouldn't do it, and not try.
Just one question, Dr. Pauling, about the Nobel Peace Prize. What did it mean to you? Was it just a flower in the buttonhole, or did it mean something to your work?
It meant a great deal to me. I had been having so much trouble with the institute, the university where I was working, and with the government, and also the question of whether this was a good activity for me to be engaged in. And I decided that the Nobel Peace Prize awarded to me meant that my wife had been right in saying that I should do these things. And in a sense that working for peace had been made respectable in the United States.
What do you think about some of the Nobel Peace Prizes that we have been handing out in later years? Or is that an unfair question?
Well, as I read Nobel's will, it has seemed to me, and for other reasons too, that usually the award of the Peace Prize to a politician was not justified, because a politician, the leader of a nation or a diplomat, has his primary duty toward his own nation. He works for nationalism, and it is internationalism that the Norwegian Nobel Committee should be stressing.
I'd like to quote from your speech when you received the prize back in 1963. I am confident that we shall succeed, and that we shall, in the course of time, be enabled to build a world characterized by economic, political, and social justice for all human beings, and a culture worthy of man's intelligence. Now, do you still believe in that today?
Yes, I still believe in it, even though we waste a great deal of money on bombers and intercontinental ballistic missiles and nuclear warheads. I think that this is just a temporary setback, and that we are going to have a world of that sort.
Do you share his optimism?
Yes, I do. I surely do, and I think we must continue to work and must influence other people to work, because I think it's true that we have reached the point now where to be loyal to our own country is not enough, that we must now show a loyalty for all of mankind, and we must work for the good of humanity in general.
And crusaders never retire. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you.